Yeah, it helps a lot when you can play with tempo. It obviously slows down the pass rush. Guys get tired eventually, and it just helps us keep the defense on their heels. It's harder to dial things up when you're playing against a tempo team. You don't get set. You don't always get your call in. So a lot of times, you go back to your base call or whatever that is. So that helps. They're a really good defense, so we got our hands full with that. But we're excited for the challenge. Obviously we got a good plan that we're putting together. A great day today. But yeah, tempo was good for us last week, so we'll keep, expanding on that and do what we need to do to put us in the best situation.
In looking at the film, did the up-tempo stuff work even better than you might have thought immediately after the game?
No, I felt good. I thought that got us in a rhythm. Obviously, the last few weeks we've kind of been, a little stagnant offensively. We've had a few good possessions here and there, but just not as consistent as we want to be. And I really felt like last week, that was the first game where, in a couple weeks, where we really got in a flow, and it felt good. And I think tempo helped that. I think we're all on the same page. I've been talking to Bev and Shotty and all the guys on offense, and we feel really good about it. So that'll be part of the plan. Obviously, you can't do that the whole game. You got to use the clock, and you got to play complementary football. But still, that'll be a part of the plan.
Urban has said a few times that you kind of see last Sunday what you guys envision your offense identity to be like. Is that what you kind of see it as well?
I mean, honestly, this thing has evolved as we've gone on, and you find out what you're good at, the guys you have, what puts you in the best situation. And I think that is something that helps us, and the guys have done a really good job of it and executing, especially up front. Those guys have been really clean, and we got a really experienced offensive line, which helps. So they've been great, and we're just we're learning more and more each week, and I think that's something that we do well, and we just got to kind of carry that over into other phases of the game, like I said, because you can't do that the whole game. So there's some areas we still got to improve, obviously, and put some more points on the board, but I feel like we're taking steps in the right direction.
How much of an emphasis is kind of getting a faster start?
It always is. Whenever you can start fast, that always helps. But the biggest thing is being consistent. No matter what happens in that first drive, we got to consistently put drives together where we're getting points, and not only points, finishing in the red zone. I mean, we've kicked a lot of field goals, especially the last half of the games we've played. So got to put the ball in the end zone more, and that'll help us for sure. So it's just being better in the red zone.
Third down conversion rate, though, has taken a significant jump these last few weeks. What have you guys changed? Is there anything you can put a finger on as to why it's been so improved?
Yeah, I think, when you look at it, we stayed out. We had a couple third and longs in the game. You're always going to have one or two at least. But compared to the weeks before, the last two games, San Francisco and Atlanta, we've had a lot more manageable third downs. It was 3rd and 7 or less most of the time. So that's always going to help your percentage on third down, because then you can get some 3rd and 1. You can run the ball, get a conversion that way, and we did that a few times. So that's always going to help, and that's been the biggest thing.
Quarterback sneak, you can always do that. You're feeling good with that. I mean, you obviously you also ran for, I think it was 39 yards this past.
Something like that. Yeah, QB sneak. I'm 1 for 1, so always got that in the back pocket, but just waiting on it. It felt good. That's something that I've always done. It's always been part of my game, and as I've gotten more and more comfortable with the offense, and just as it's adapted, I feel like that's something that we've done well all year, really, especially after the first few games. That was a big emphasis early on, and I feel like we've taken we've made a lot of forward progress there. So I feel good about that. And like I said, there's obviously other things we got to work on, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
Urban said he's calling this an all-star team, and you look at the Rams, especially defensively. What have you seen? Obviously, you saw Von Miller earlier this year. What have you seen from them, in terms of talent?
I mean, they got a lot of talent. It's going to be hard to find another defense that has more talent. So, but every week teams have great players. So there's just a lot of them on this team. But it doesn't change, the mindset. Obviously, you got to be conscious of where those guys are, and you got to put yourself in a good situation to be successful. But at the end of the day, you got to go play football, and we got good players too. So got to trust that and be confident. And I think the guys are. And like I said, we had a great day today. But obviously, you got to be conscious of a few of those guys. You got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey in the back end, and Von Miller. Like, they got some guys scattered around that are really good players. So we've seen Von, and obviously we know what he can do. So we'll go up against him twice, which is kind of ironic. We would have never thought that at the beginning of the year, but that's just how the NFL works, I guess. So we're excited for the challenge, though. We feel good about it.
Tell us about your
Sorry.
Tell us about your tweets. These are the kids,
Yeah.
if I'm correct, that welcomed you to Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, super cool. So that's Long Branch Elementary. They designed the cleats. and an artist from Jacksonville actually painted them. So the kids designed them. I guess it was last week. Went over there, and they all, I think there was 7 or 8 kids, has their initials on one of the toes there. They all designed them and then got them professionally painted, and it's just cool. Those are some of the first people to, I guess, greet me when I got to Jacksonville. They were waiting out front in the stadium with signs, and just to see their positive attitude and the smile on their face. A lot of those kids have been through a lot, and life hasn't necessarily been easy for them, but just to see their outlook is really cool. So I was happy to have them be a part of that.
How do you determine whether you'll definitively wear them in the game, or will you?
Oh, I will, for sure. Yeah, that was the one I decided to do, and then I guess we decided that a while ago, so the kids have been working on them, and I'm excited. Those are sweet.
You were talking about Jalen. Can you get anything out of talking to like Chark, who practiced against him week after week, to get any tips on what he does in the game?
Yeah, I haven't talked to DJ yet. You know, I saw him for a second earlier, but that's a good idea. I probably will actually. But no, I haven't yet. But a lot of the guys that played with him that were here, they've talked about what a great player he was, and just his ball skills, his size, speed. I mean, he just has everything. He's really physical, great tackler. You know, for a corner, and he moves around. He plays corner, nickel. He blitzes, does everything. He's really physical, and that's rare in defensive back, especially a guy that plays on the perimeter. So, you know, just a great player. He's all over the field. He follows guys, best receivers every week, and consistently plays well. So, just a guy that you got to be aware of him, but you still got to play. So.
Chark tells you something good.
I will. I will. Appreciate it, man.
You'll be more of a legend here if you run over.
What do you think of
Oh,
the
gosh.
pause my cleats thing, Trevor? Obviously, you don't really do it in college. So
Yeah.
what is it like for you to come out here and see all these things?
I think it's really cool. I haven't even seen a lot of these actually, so I'm excited to look at them. But I think it's super cool to give guys a platform to, show what they're passionate about, and then get other people involved. The artists, the nonprofits, whatever it is. I think it's a really cool thing the NFL does, and it's also cool getting to see all the designs and everybody wearing them on the field. It's going to be awesome.
Matthew, go ahead. Growing up in Georgia, what was your perception of Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, so I was young when he played for Georgia. I don't know what year is this for Matt Stafford.
06, 08, right? Yeah, 06, 08
At Georgia, yeah. So I was when he finished. I was 9, I guess, something like that. But oh yeah, like I grew up with a bunch of where I grew up, everyone was Georgia fans, so I always talked about him. And then I grew up watching him. He played for the Lions, but still was a quarterback when I was a kid, and he's had a ton of success in his career. If you look at him, like, he's one of definitely the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's impressive to watch. So I've never met him, so I'm excited to meet him, to compete against him. It's going to be fun.